Hello, happy Monday and happy Martin Luther King Day. And I love one of the reasons why I'm stepping in today is all about leadership energy, right? Who is Martin Luther King to actually step in and actually stand and have the energy to push forward as a leader and stand up for what he truly believed in? And so, with that being said, I wanted to step in and talk to you all about how to harness and achieve your energy daily. So, if you let me know where you're coming in from, I want to know, I want to hear, go ahead and drop it in the chat because I am so excited for 2024. And I know everybody's saying that, but for me, it's just this like amazing energy because right now, as you're in like the third week in January, who believes it's like the third Monday of January, you're really beginning to like let the holidays go, let 2023, like, what are you leaving behind you that is no longer serving you? I want you to really think about that because when we start to look at harnessing our energy, we may be wasting energy somewhere. We may not be taking care of ourselves and doing self care that allows us to step in the energy that we get to have. So, when a new year comes around, for me, again, it's not about the resolutions. You all hear me say, like, resolutions just are only adding another task to you. But if you don't have the desire and the wisdom and the want to actually move forward, you might have the want, but like it's just creating another task. Do you actually have the foundation to allow that dream or vision to come true? So I always talk about it in either rituals or habits, right? Rituals, if you're more spiritual, habits, if that word works for you. Again, I want to use, step into what works for you. For me, it's many like morning rituals that I have or evening rituals that I have that allow me to take care of myself as I am the CEO of several businesses. And the truth is if I didn't have that time for myself to step in and be my true authentic self and really get to enjoy every single moment when I'm showing up for you, that is so important, especially as we step into this first quarter. So I thought it was only relevant to really like step in. Last week we had a couple of interviews that you showed up for, but really step in and say, you know what, how can you harness your energy? The other thing that I would love, if you're live with me right now, again, welcome. If there's something that you're struggling with in your health or in your daily habits or rituals or nutrition or whatever that is, let me know in the comments because I do go back and read the comments and it really helps me understand where the audience is coming in from and what sort of support you need. And it actually helps me create the online live doc show content for you, right? Because at the end of the day, I want to meet you where you're at. Right now, I'm sharing what's on my heart and what I'm seeing at the clinic, but I want to support you in like what are your goals or what are your questions because that's how we all get to lead. So when I'm looking at harnessing and achieving daily energy as a leader and a high performer, it's how are you managing your energy throughout your day from the time that you work out until the time that you go to bed. And that energy and emotion tied to that is just so important. We call it emotional intelligence. And it's really crucial, sorry, for your success and well-being. So it's this interplay in our daily life, how energy levels and emotions can impact our decision making. It can impact like our productivity throughout the day. It can impact our interpersonal relationships with our friends or the appointments that we show up or the meetings that we show up to. So, what I'm asking you right now is to think about or identify some sort of factor in your professional and personal life that is depleting your energy. Like, is it the nutrition that are you eating? Are you eating too much sugars? Is it that you're not going to bed early enough or you're not sleeping soundly and you're waking up exhausted? Or are you creating negative thinking for yourself? Like you're not talking to yourself positive, you're not where you want to be, so you're actually speaking negative thoughts to yourself. What is it for you? So I want you to really check in, because the truth is energy is part of your health. And so many people are burning the candles at both ends, especially once we came off a busy holiday season. What's maybe what is like one of the things that like you step into the new year and you say, wow, I'm exhausted and I get to do this differently next year. Or this particular situation took me out of my game and it didn't allow me to fulfill my vision. Or what do you know that you're not setting yourself up for? For me, let me share with you what I do in order to stay at a high level and to order to continue to perform at high levels. So, what I look at in the first thing in the morning, once I get out of bed, I brush my teeth, I already have my clothes prepped for the gym. So I don't have to look for them, I don't have to search for them. Or I might work out at home, or I might work with my personal trainer. It doesn't matter, but my clothes are there. I'm ready to throw on my savvy outfit that many of you know. If you're looking to up level and bring in a secondary income with amazing emotionally grounded women, not only lifestyle but like fashion that is so comfortable. Like I have my savvy leggings on right now under my skirt because it's freezing here. DM me brand partner and I'll connect with you. But anyway, so I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I get myself ready in my workout clothes. And then I take my dog out, I head on downstairs, I make my tea or my coffee. I drink my lemon and water with my Himalayan sea salt, just a pinch and a quarter of a lemon and a tall glass of water. And that gets me started for the day. I take my pup out, bring him back in, feed him, make myself a smoothie, make my hot beverage, and then I go sit and I read my Bible and I do my daily devotionals. And I read my 10 or 15 pages a day of a personal book and a professional book. And then I go and I work out. Why is that important to me? Because I learned when I was in my 20s, now I'm in my 50s, that working out and moving my body was important for me. It's important for everybody, but for me, it was first thing in the morning because it helped me. If I stimulated my heart, if I stimulated my circulation, I didn't have a tendency to procrastinate. And the truth is I think clearer and I think better. So I move through what I want to build and I'm more on point. On Wednesdays, I might take a break, honestly. And when I do, I'm not as on my game on Wednesdays. So the joke is with patience, you want to not get me on a Wednesday. No, just kidding. So that's how I show up. And then after I work out, then I eat my healthy breakfast, get ready for work. And honestly, I know I need 3 hours in the morning to do all of that before I actually start working with patients or have business meetings as a CEO, whatever that looks like. The other piece that I do is I food prep so that I can just grab my lunch and heat it and go and whatever that looks like. And I can sit down and eat because really, I really oftentimes will just get a half an hour, right? And so, with all of that being said, that's what I do. And I know I need to go to bed early, which has been a little bit off kilter supporting my family. Now they're in a really good place. So, get to bed early because I'm early to bed, early to rise. What does that make? A healthy, wealthy woman early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy and wealthy. So, why did I want to share that with you? Because I'm asking you, what sort of ritual and habits do you do in the morning to step into health? You're like, Dr. Donahue, what does this have to do with health? Everything. Because if you let your day take you away and you don't have a plan for your day, then you're most likely going to live in a fight or flight response, or you're most likely not going to set yourself up for success. So, with that being said, like I'm more emotionally grounded when I actually do that ritual in the morning and get to bed earlier and eat my really good 4 meals to 5 meals a day. because now I'm not drained with energy and I'm ready to go. However, like at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, if somebody asks me to do something, I'm just like, you need to check in with me tomorrow. So that's where the emotions come in and the boundaries come in. Like really interplaying and understanding your daily life. So if you have these emotions and you can't set boundaries, then it's really hard for you to actually balance your energy, because you might be feeling like, if it's your own company, like I can't make the decisions, this person needs this, that person needs this, I can't get this done, I have this meeting, and before you know it your day is done. Oh, I forgot to add in journaling. Whereas I know what is important for me for that day, so I can effectively and have clarity on what I'm achieving and pursuing in my life that day. I don't let just life take me. I plan and I analyze for myself, because that's how I work into stepping forward. So here's what we want to talk about. Like this way, I feel more emotionally grounded. I feel happier. When we feel happier and more joyful inside, then we're able to maneuver situations that show up for us. So we're constantly balancing our emotions and our energy throughout the day, right? If you're on point with this, please put energy in the chat, because that will help me understand that you're actually listening and you're hearing what I'm saying. Okay, so what are some tools that can be effective for you to interplay energy and emotion? I listed some of mine, and so I'm going to go through a list that I actually made that may cover stuff I spoke about or may not. So the first thing is having a purpose. Are you feeling valuable in life? Like, what is the present moment? What is your purpose to step forward? So you may, and self-worthiness steps in there too. So what you may think about doing is regular mindful exercises and meditation sessions that can help you recognize and manage your emotions. Recognize and manage, like, what is your purpose? Because the truth is, we want things to come from our internal self. Our external pieces are already going to be there. But if we're into who we are, we're coming home to ourselves, we're grounded in who we are, we're meditating, we're hearing our gut. It's very important for me to hear my gut. I drive my life with my gut, then I get to move forward. The other piece that's so important, I feel, is journaling. Taking time to write down and express your thoughts and emotions, so then you're actually clear. You've made it self-aware what your goals and purpose are for that day. So this way you can journal about your feelings and your experiences and your aspirations, so that you can help align yourself to what your true purpose is. So I find, like, once I meditate and I do my journaling, that sort of practice sets myself up and enlightens me to actually know where I'm going for the day. Does that all make sense? I hope so. The other piece that you want to think about, I do priority focus time every day, which was taught to me from my coach. And what that is 60 to 90 minutes. It's blocked out of my calendar before I see patients. And I often will do it at the clinic or right before I start working. And that really helps me hone in on, what am I 100%? What is my goal for the day? What is my plan? And then I carry that with me throughout the day. So, what is the purpose of that? It helps you prioritize and manage your tasks efficiently. So, you may have a task or a dream or something that you want to come true, but today's not the day because you just don't have it in your zone to actually fit it into your calendar, right? So, that's so, so, so important to know what you have time for and what time constraints are. The other point is exercise. That really boosts your endorphins, like I said. It improves your mood and the circulation of your cardio system. It helps get your body moving. It doesn't have to be go to the gym, run on a treadmill, ride a bike. Like it can be whatever you want. Maybe like you wake up and you check in with your gut and you're like, I just need a gentle walk this morning, or my body feels so tight. Like maybe I want to do bar, or I want to do stretching and yoga, or, maybe I want to jump on an app that can walk me through a stretching. It doesn't matter, but just the practice and getting that in and figuring that out. Now, let me stop for a minute before I go on to nutrition. What I want to say to you is if you're hearing all of these ideas, and the ideas are like, oh my gosh, where do I start? Like, I don't have any of this in check. I suggest pick one or two and stack this habit on top of something else, this ritual. So maybe like you want to start journaling every day. Maybe you meditate and journal, but don't try to do all of them at once. Like when I was talking to a patient today, I have constantly changed my morning rituals and now I feel really good about them. And the one that I added this year, because I always had a desire to read the whole Bible, is to read the Bible. I want to get through the Bible in 365 days because I'm reading all these other books, but I realize that I've only read different verses. I've never made my way all the way through. So that is 100% a goal of mine to read through the Bible. Okay. So healthy eating habits. So eating quality protein, eating 9 to 12 varying types of vegetables, because that is going to nourish your body and your mind and your well-being. Getting in healthy fats for your brain. So many people have, when I still talk about this, I'm amazed. So I'm going to keep bringing it in. Like healthy fats like nuts or fish oil or flax oil, raw olive oil, don't cook with oil. Like all of that is going to help balance your energy because you're not going to be, which we're going to talk about in a minute, you're not going to be on a blood sugar roller coaster ride because that's going to deplete your energy. The other one, which is, I hope, a no brainer, but maybe people haven't heard it before, and I have no judgment because we all start learning about ourselves and what makes sense for us, is adequate sleep. Because when you sleep, your brain detoxifies, it removes toxicity. It actually helps like regulate your mood and you feel more rested so that you're not feeling on edge. Right, put in the chat sleep if you feel irritable after you sleep and you're struggling with sleep and the next morning you're like you can't deal with your husband or your wife or your children because you're just not sleeping. That is very depleting on the body and depleting on your energy. Whereas when you're building and restoring and allowing the nervous system to relax at night, that's where you can wake up in the morning and have your energy maintained. And, you're ensuring your 7 to 8, maybe 9 hours might be something that you need so that you have a consistent sleep schedule and you have consistent energy. How many people is this new for? Just let me know. Please don't be afraid to ask me questions, those of you that are in the live, because I'm 100%. I've been there. I've been doing this for close to 30 years personally. So I've been working with patients for close to, this will be my 18th year this year. It doesn't seem possible, right? So just setting clear sleep schedules is so important. We talked about goal setting and visualization. Why is that important? That takes us back to knowing what your vision is, because like in the Bible it says without a vision you'll perish. So if you don't have a vision or a goal for what you're achieving, you may lose your momentum and movement, which may allow you to become depressed or sad, or you're not sure where you're going, or maybe you're in a time in your career or life where you're pivoting. Like, what does that get to look like? So when you're setting clear, achievable goals and you're regularly realizing, like stepping into that visualization, like this is here right now, and enhancing motivation, the key is discipline. So many of you are successful with discipline. Like, how can you be in balance and on point with discipline? Because discipline helps us get to the next level. The next one is emotional intelligence. understanding your own emotions, your own leadership of yourself and those of others, engaging in workshops or courses can actually help you around this. Breathing. How many people hold their breath under stress? Even when I'm doing treatments with patients and I'm like, don't forget to breathe and go ahead and breathe into this area in your body, it's almost like foreign to them. But if we don't have breath, we don't have alive. We're not alive. Like, breathing is so important to our health. It helps manage our stress and our emotions. You can start a breathing technique like right away, like right off the bat when you're feeling like stress kick in. So that's so important. And when you actually breathe right into your abdomen. I know it's hard for you to see where I'm pointing, but right below your rib cage, breathe in there. Don't do just shallow breathing up here. Really get that deep breathing in. Another piece is your family, your lifestyle, your friends, your social support. You get to create the social support in where you're going in life and where you're envisioning. Like, I choose my friends and those around me who help me grow, who step into the growth, and they're not just happy like where they're at. So what does that networking look like for you? Like, you can, be around your family and whatnot, which I'm very fortunate. Many of my family is into health and wellness and natural healing, and they're also entrepreneurs. So I get to learn from them as well, but I know all families don't have that sort of camaraderie or that sort of connection like we have. The other piece is where I'm going to finish, and that is, what activities make you really happy and joyful and allow you to step into who you are being? Make sure that you take your time when you create your calendar this year, that you put in times for vacation, times for leisure activities. Maybe it's like you didn't get to see a particular friend or family member last year. Like, that is all managing who you are as a human being, because love and connection is so important to your life. Does that make sense? Drop in any questions in the chat for those of you that are jumping on with me live right now. But as you're integrating all those tools that I talked about, it can help you balance your emotions and your energy, helping you create discipline and clarity as you're pursuing your personal and your professional desires and goals in life. So as you begin to integrate, like, I want to mention this again as you're listening to this, don't feel like, because I will say that this will set you up for failure. Don't go back and say, Dr. Donahue listed about 10 or 12 of these, and oh my gosh, in order for me to be healthy, I have to do all of them. I'm making this clear. I did not say that. I certainly did not say it. It's practice and purpose and putting these habits and rituals into place. I almost said habitual. Same thing, right? So choose a couple if you don't have any. If you have some, maybe add another one on that makes sense. Again, these are just ideas. I tell my patients all the time, you are you. You are you as a genetic. There's nobody else like you. There's no treatment plan that's the same for my patients. You have a different blueprint. So if none of these 10 or 12 that I listed work for you, think outside the box and ask your gut, go into a meditation or a prayer and ask yourself, like, what do I need as an individual to be able to, like, stay in my purpose, to stay in my vision? And what does that get to look like to keep my nervous system, my emotions, and my energy in check? So one of the big ones that I want to talk about right now, because it's literally coming up for every single patient that's coming into my clinic right now. Dr. Donahue, wow, I just don't feel great. I don't know what happened. Like, all of a sudden, I went downhill. Really? That's interesting, because so and so, when I saw you a couple months ago, like right before the holidays, you were doing amazing. And I'm looking at your chart notes, and your energy was there, and you had this drive to do this, and you were changing your nutrition, and you chose to, like, eat less sugars, and you were really on track. What happened? Guess what? over the holidays, foods were consumed. I have no judgment on things that weren't as good for you. There was too much sugar, too much starches, not enough protein, not balanced meals. You were running around reckless. I'm not saying everybody was doing this, but I'm just pointing out what could have happened. You went to several different functions. You went hungry. Maybe you looked at the table and you said, I can't eat any of this. So you didn't eat any of that. Maybe you had a glass of wine. I don't know what the circumstance is, but this has been happening in the clinic for close to 18 years where patients come in and they're just absolutely exhausted and they're beside themselves. And when we start to really unpack what happened, it's often too much starches and sugars we're getting in. If you remember the beginning in like October, I had, get your sweetness in check, your blood sugar balanced, and keep in check and keep connected with me over the holidays. This is exactly why, because I know the patterns and the emotions that get drawn in as you go through the holidays. I've been there. I'm in a different place in my life. But again, I'm going to tell you, it took me time to get there. But I am obsessed to not go down that journey. So, when your blood sugar is not stable and it's up and down and up and down, you use blood sugar as a stable source of energy, right? And when you have stable blood sugars, you have that consistent supply of energy, and you're not on what I call an emotional roller coaster ride. Because those fluctuations, when they fluctuate widely, it can lead to spikes and then crashes. How many times have you sat at your desk after a meal and you're just like, oh, I'm so hungry, and you have to go after that sugary treat? You've trained your body that your body needs that. So when you have highs, it's a temporary surge in your energy. And then all of a sudden, you have this rapid decline of sugar and you end up with fatigue. So some, like what we call low blood sugar, is hypo, which is low, and hyper is high. So when you have low blood sugar, you can get cranky, you can be irritable, you can be fatigued. And when that brain body doesn't receive enough glucose, which is sugar, into your brain, your overall energy is going to drop. So that's going to affect your emotions mentally and your physical performance. On the other hand, when you have high blood sugar, the hyperglycemia, it can cause symptoms like headaches, difficulty concentrating. Maybe you feel like you have ADD and you're all over the place. Like if you feed a kid sugar, the joke is you can't calm them down. So that long-term impact can lead to insulin resistance, further affecting like your energy and your overall health. Those of you that haven't heard me talk, once you end up in a pre-diabetic state, you've already had high blood sugar, low blood sugar, high blood sugar. It's been this roller coaster ride. And then all of a sudden your pancreas gets super tired and your body's like, I can't take on any more cells. The muscles say to themselves, I can't take any more blood sugar in the cells. So then they start creating fat and storing it there. And that's how we feel like fluffy and don't feel as strong. So, how does that impact stress and your energy levels? Well, I talked a little bit about how it affected your emotions and your energy. But if we think of like your typical stress response, stress is going to trigger that adrenaline and that cortisol, and that's going to prepare your body for fight or flight. And then that's going to initially increase your energy. But short term, this stress response and that bolt of energy that you just had is not sustainable. So being in that fight or flight stress response, it's not a sustainable feeling, right? How many of you feel stressed right now? You have so much to do. It's the beginning of the year. You just finished the holidays. We're into the third week. Put stress in the chat so I know. Because if that's the case, then I'm talking directly to you right now. So chronic stress over time is going to lead to a diagnosis called adrenal fatigue, where the body is going to like really 100% struggle to maintain the hormone production so that you don't have a significant drop in energy. So, when you have that chronic stress, it's going to affect your mental health. It can be anxiety, it can be depression, and then your physical health affecting your sleep and your body functions, both which are 100% impacted with energy levels. So, this is a vicious cycle for you because stress affects the blood sugars. When you're stressed, you're choosing less healthy eating options because you're running on the go, which can cause a blood sugar spike and then a crash, and then you're getting your blood sugars are becoming imbalanced, and then you have heightened stress and anxiety. Whew, I feel stressed talking about this, right? So, managing it through some of the exercises that we talked about: prayer, meditation, breathing, having a balanced diet, moving your body. So, let's conclude all that. Both blood sugar and stress are critical factors in managing your energy levels. So, eating a healthy diet, if you don't know what a healthy diet is, type diet and I'll go over it for you. Getting adequate sleep, moving your body, doing relaxation techniques, journaling, knowing what your vision is and knowing what your clarity is of the day, that's going to help you contribute to a more balanced blood sugar. The key is emotion. The next key is nutrition, movement, and relaxation. So all of this is so, so important on actually balancing and cultivating these productive habits that are going to enhance your performance. You know, the last thing I want to talk about is how do you, well, let's talk about stopping your adrenal fatigue. So, proposing that your stress management techniques like your yoga, your deep breathing, setting boundaries is so important, as well as sleep hygiene and relaxation practices. That's going to support your adrenal health, right? The adrenal health is going to go back into the blood sugar, which we talked about, which is going to step back into the adrenal fatigue. That's so important. But I'm asking you, what can you do to embrace your healthiest version of yourself in 2024? What sort of personal health desires, visions, goals, habits, rituals can you decide that you're going to commit to and not stop? Because the truth is you're living in a paradigm that you've created all your years in your life since the day you were born. So, in order to step out of a paradigm is to step into systems that actually work for you. And in order to grow, you're going to be uncomfortable. So maybe it feels uncomfortable to change your nutrition and you have to learn a different way of eating because you're used to eating boxed foods and processed foods and all that. That's okay because you're embracing what is discomforting. You're embracing what you don't know. But if you don't feel like your healthiest version right now and you don't have the energy and you're not harnessing and achieving high energy for you to perform at high levels, what would you do in your business or your life or at work? You would change how you're doing things. It's the same thing for your body. How can you shift your mindset and create these strategies that we talked about or habits to adopt your growth mindset? Whether it's journaling, whether it's me listening to my gut and shutting my mind off and really hearing my body and breathing, or asking feedback. I asked feedback to a professional today that is one of my coaches. Like, I want support. This is her knowledge. I don't have that knowledge. So I want to change my paradigm and know that I can grow more and touch more people. What does that get to look like? I don't know. I'm asking the question. I'm feeling uncomfortable to ask the question. I'm embracing discomfort to change how I'm doing things so that I can show up more for you. So my key takeaway in all of this is 2 points. One, what you get to create is for you. How you set up your rituals and habits gets to fit your lifestyle. Even when I work with patients, I say to them, what makes sense for you? What is your life like? Let's figure out what time should you eat? What time should you take supplements? Because we're creating a backbone of the foundations of health for them. That's the physical piece. Then we're working on the mental, emotional piece, whether it's around boundaries, whether it's around their family, whether it's around the workplace. I'm not sure. But when we're setting up these strategies, we're setting it up for your life, for their life. What I'm asking you to do is, if you have to listen to this again and some suggestions, ideas, I'm asking you to create a life for yourself. What does that get to look like? How can you show up for yourself to create the healthiest version of yourself? Because that's my goal for you right now, really stepping into what does 2024 get to look like so you can be the healthiest version of yourself, right? The other piece that I also know is that when you pick too many of these, like I mentioned in the beginning, then you may fail yourself. Why set yourself up for failure? If you fail, that's okay. If you eat a Danish or a donut today, know that the next meal is when you get back on track. Don't beat yourself up and be like, I ate that donut. And then before you know it, you're eating a donut every day for the next 90 days. I'm being extreme, but that's the truth. How many of you beat yourself up because you made a mistake? Just be like, this doesn't fit, or I'm going to change this, but positivity is a choice. Making these decisions and saying, well, you're amazing, that you can do anything, that you're celebrating your individuality, and that you get to succeed this year in your health. That's what I'm here for. The other piece I know is the fact that when you're working in a group setting and you're around other individuals and listening to my constant voice, would you love that? Because I have an offer today. Would you love to be with other high performers and individuals? If that's you, go to joinpocketdoc.com, click on the link, join us, because I am showing up vulnerable and intimate every single week and once a month live with all of you to ask questions, plus on a subject that I teach. And the data shows that you up level and rise together, in this instance, your health, because you're in other individuals doing the same thing. When I look out into our world and I go to the grocery store or I go out to dinner and I see what people are eating, I'm just like, wow, no wonder we're in a sick care society. And wouldn't you like to just be free to just open up the menu, not have all these cravings, not be exhausted, and be like, I want this and this. You've made your decision and you shut your menu and you know what you're going to eat? Or wouldn't you love it when you food prep each week for the family and for yourself, and you know how much protein you need, you know what your fats look like? This is what we all unpack together on joinpocketdoc.com, and we do it in a community of other like-minded individuals. It's me supporting you and my 30 plus years of doing this for myself. Because the truth is I'm constantly changing, I'm constantly planning, because how I felt yesterday is not how I feel today. Or let's say how I felt last month. My hormones are changing as I age. What is anti-aging? It's not going to get Botox in your face and get rid of your wrinkles. Anti-aging is stepping into a vision of who you are. Maybe you need more oxygen in your body. Maybe you need to breathe, get outside more. I don't know. But when we have group meetings and connections, it's so amazing the questions that are answered. So I would love for you to show up, joinpocketdoc.com. If you need some community support around healing, you need some team building and some connection. I just am so excited for 2024, and you get to be healthy. You get to create the healthiest version of yourself. If this was super helpful, drop a message in the comments for me. If you're listening to this on replay, feel free to reach out to me. My team checks questions. If they don't know how to answer them, they connect with me. I am sending you all so much love, so much joy, and the best health in 2024. And I can't wait to see you create the healthiest version of you. I'll see you tomorrow. Have an amazing day.